The process of counting absentee ballots is well underway right now. The state still, though, doesn't have an official number of how many absentee ballots it received, but we know more than 1.5 million Georgians requested one. Now, despite the push for voters to stay home and mail in their ballots and avoid the risk of the coronavirus, some voters are complaining that the state's absentee ballot process was riddled with issues. Stacey Abrams of the voting rights group Fair Fight Action spoke about the issues and experiences she faced.
My absentee ballot, when it finally arrived, had an unusable return envelope. And so I had to vote in person today because I could not replace that envelope. We know across the state, thousands of requests for absentee ballots were not returned. And we know that this was a preventable problem.
Fulton County in particular is already under investigation by the state after complaints people weren't getting their absentee ballots.